You know, everyone's got a spin. What is the spin that's going to be shown to us today? Well, let's go ahead and take a look into it. Now we've got Bill Maher. If you don't know him, what is it? Tonight Live is one of his HBO late night shows, something like that. He's been a stand up comedian for a long time. He has also been one of those extremely liberal or fence sitters. He's almost been like a Tim Pool, but just with a bigger nose for a long time. I would have more respect for him because sometimes it does seem like he's actually having his own thoughts and actually saying it out there, almost like kind of like Piers Morgan. It seems like with older age, he's actually like not going straight party line ticket anymore. But I would have more respect for him if it wasn't for the audience button. Clap now. Please clap. The thing he says today, though, really stuck with me. Not in the best way, obviously, but I'm going to do my best to try to look at it from two different angles. So let's go ahead and go straight into it because we have the Honora. We're talking about the Oscars now. Bill Maher has said that Honora beat out Amelia Perez at the Oscars due to cancel culture. That is a very loaded statement right there just to begin with. Honora beat out Amelia Perez. You mean Honora beat out Dune Part 2 because half the people who were rating the movies or voting on them didn't even watch Dune 2 and were interviewed saying it. There are people, and this is a quote from him, who say cancel culture isn't a real thing, and I would say to them, it just happened at the Oscars. Is that what you would say to them? Is that what one of your writers would say to them? Also, I don't think anybody's saying that cancel culture isn't a real thing. So I don't know where you're trying to go with this, Bill, but let's go a little bit more in depth into it. On the latest episode, Real Time, that's the name of the show, while chatting with author humorist David Sedaris, the host explained how cancel culture most recently impacted the 2025 Oscars, specifically with the controversy surrounding Amelia Perez and Carlos Sofia Gascon, or Carlos, however you want to address that person. Now, listen here. It recently impacted the Oscars because they were going to shoehorn that thing in specifically for the woke ideology that was in it. But since all those tweets came out, since all that other stuff and that, that giant PR nightmare happened, yeah, they voted the other way. It's still politicking. That's all it ever does. And that's why the viewership numbers keep dropping and dropping and dropping. It's because the illusion is gone. It's probably always been like this, but the illusion is gone. The veil has been shredded and burned and immolated. It's just bald-faced right out in the open now. Nobody trusts these MFers. And did he even watch Amelia Perez? That's one thing I want to know, because just some of the clips that I've seen, they're so dadgum laughable. It's not even funny. Like, I would rather watch The Room. Now, just going back, and this is just reiterating what he said. This is the full context of what he said in that statement. There are people who say cancel culture isn't a real thing, and I would say to them, it just happened at the Oscars. Applause. You may not think it happened, but the movie that was going to win it all was Amelia Perez. Yes, for the reasons that I stated. The comedian also noted that Hollywood loved the idea of making history and finally having a man beat a woman. Oh, they've already been doing that in sports for a long time. God bless her. She did a great. Oh, my goodness. Maher, what are you doing? What are you doing, Bill? Come on, old Billy boy. You have to actually have a brain clunking around somewhere between those ears now. Surely you can't be falling for this much. How much of your stuff actually is written for you and how much you just think up at the top of your dome? What it really seems to me is that this dude has no dog in any fight other than what his agents and PR agents tell him. This should be the thing. It's a little bit spicy and it'll give you views. He doesn't seem to actually have a cohesive thought in his brain. While Gascon, the first ever openly TS woman, and I know I have to parse my words whenever it comes to talking because I want to say a word that YouTube doesn't like. Person to be nominated in her category was initially a frontrunner in the Oscars race for Best Actor with an S on the end. Her chances quickly took a turn when offensive tweets from the actress resurfaced on social media at the end of January. And those tweets were actually really funny. I did a video on the channel that I just came from. They were absolutely hilarious. They were very tongue in cheek. There were also some that were a little bit crazy, but that was just more reason to laugh and laugh because it ended up bringing back 1942 German stuff on real time. Maher called Gascon's tweets a little childlike. It was a little Kanye-esque because that's basically what Twitter is. If you don't know, if you want to get a real gauge for someone's personality and character, don't look at their Twitter posts. You can see their sense of humor there. But as far as who they are as an individual, that when you meet them in real life or like have a personal relationship with them, what they put on Twitter is not what they are in real life. Not necessarily. Now, sometimes it is, but I mean, that's basically going to be a minority. I'm not saying that word. The host continued, and this movie, this was going to win it all. It was the front runner, and she was going to get all. Suddenly was out to lunch. And good news for Nora, that's what happened. Yes, instead of having a transgender person sweep the Oscars, instead, we got a street hooker. Great. Hollywood's full of morals, though. Just ask win or lose at Disney Pixar. Yeah, that we need morality, right, guys? So we're going to give it all to a street hooker rather than someone who pumps himself full of hormones and has the mental delusion that they are something that they are not. Honora ultimately ended up being the big winner. Yeah, taking home 5 wins, including Best Picture and Best Actress for Star, Mikey Madsen. Now, despite that name, biological female, basically what an actress is. Amelia Perez earned 2 Oscars, Best Supporting Actress for another biological female, and Best Original Song. The Bad is what that translates to. El Mal means the bad. Now, I did not watch this movie. There's no way I could sit through it without, I don't know, throwing something to the TV or, shooting off fireworks and laughing at destruction. There's got to be some other way. Maybe we could take it to one of those like gun shows where you just have like firing ranges and everything like that. That would be awesome. I would love to watch it while that's playing in the background and everyone's just getting their adrenaline and testosterone out by firing guns. America, baby. Following the Amelia Perez controversy, now, Gascon issued an apology at the time, writing, "I want to acknowledge the conversation around my past social media posts that have caused hurt as someone in a marginalized community." All right. Well, that's something. That's also another thing that I hate in YouTube comments. As someone in blank, blank, blank. That is literally cookie cutter. That is ad lib's way of saying your piece. Just freaking say it. I know this suffering all too well, and I am deeply sorry for those who I've caused pain. And because of this, all my life, I have fought for a better world. I believe light will always triumph over darkness. You say that, and then there's another article that comes out, and it's actually from the Hollywood Reporter too, which I'm not going to bring up because I don't want to talk about it too much. She talks about the unthinkable. I contemplated the unthinkable, and we all know what that is. That's Minecrafting yourself. Well, I guess you're just part of the statistics now. I guess those statistics don't lie. I'm done talking about this, and I know it went way longer than I originally anticipated, but usually when I go off on a rant of some kind, that tends to be the way things go. If you guys have anything to say about this, what is going on in Bill's head? Is anything going on in Bill Maher's head? Some days he has a semi-based libertarian take, and in most of the time, though, he is just straight blue line party ticket. And he says the most crazy things that, he's supposed to be an intellectual, but he doesn't have anything intellectual to back up his statements. He just goes and makes the most flamboyant stuff ever. I don't know. I wish he would explain things a little bit more. I won't be watching, but I am here for the transcript. This is Malty from Mouth of Malty. I hope y'all have a great day and y'all take care. Bye-bye.